ladies, we're glad you joined today's call. We're going to hop into today's topic. Today's a little more faith-based, but I also think it will just be really relevant
Yeah.
to just about every woman, female in today's society and in today's culture. So
Yeah. I can go ahead and share my screen. We have a little PowerPoint for you guys, but as always, it's more so just like a way for us to kind of
Got
chat through
it.
everything. I got to figure out how to, no, okay. I don't know how to work social
I
media.
believe in you.
It's
I
just
believe
for
in
me. I'm technologically
nothing out
challenged.
of the ordinary. Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay.
I also see ChatGPT.
I have ChatGPT. Oh, there we go. I have like half marathons. I have this. I
I
have
know I got to respond to you about that.
yeah.
Maddie, we're gonna do a half.
Half
In
marathons. I
July.
was like, we're gonna do one in July. Here's 30 different options.
Once we pick one, whoever wants to join us, y'all can join us. We can all do a half marathon. If y'all all were like, that does not sound fun. I think it sounds fun.
I want you guys to train for high rocks and do high rocks with me.
I would
Like,
crush
High
it
rocks
too.
sounds fun. I would do high rocks.
it's the most humbling thing, but you feel so athletic. Like if you miss feeling athletic, like running got me into that, but then I'm like, I do high rocks and I'm over here like burpee broad jumping. And I'm like, holy smokes, but you feel so
Wait, I've
good.
always wanted to do one of those.
I'm
Yeah,
nervous
My
though.
friend is doing one the same time that we'll be in Miami,
Yeah.
and I was upset I couldn't like see her do it, but I'm gonna be asking you questions about that.
You're like, it is as bad as everyone says it is.
It's pretty bad.
Teams
I haven't even
going.
done it.
If your team's going in the school, the community, if anyone's
Yeah.
interested, like just comment like, hey, there's a high rocks coming up. Who wants to go? Like we could get little
Mhm.
partner,
So
right? Like
Chloe,
I
little...
think there's one
Wednesday.
in Miami, Caleb, this weekend. Oh wait, you're not there anymore. Never mind.
I'm literally down the street, girl. I'm in Charleston. You never know where I'm gonna be. So keep an eye out because I could be anywhere at any time. I'm like the girl on the move.
Mhm.
All right, all right. Okay, so today we're going to dive into how God's grace empowers us to live with discipline and how rest is not laziness, but rest is actually obedience. And for a really long time, I'm sure a lot of you related, but I was just deep into hustle culture, especially in Miami. That's what you do there. You grind to survive. And I always felt like I was behind. I wasn't doing enough. And once I started actually spending time with the Lord and like getting into the word by myself every day, not just Googling Bible verses when I needed them. There's nothing wrong with that, but like actually getting in the word. It is unreal how many times that it is literally listed and commanded to us to rest. Like, I mean, I'm not even halfway through the Bible and it's on like thousands and thousands, I feel like, of time. So it really, I want you guys to go into this, like, or at least leave this topic tonight knowing that like it is a command. So it's not being lazy. And when you think like you're gonna lose progress in the gym or lose progress in your business or work or life, whatever, just know that's not the case. That is command, and the reason he's commanding it to us is because it is vital for our
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always remind myself, I'm like, if Jesus took a Sabbath, what makes me think I don't need one? You know, like the most perfect human being who could do no wrong was doing that. Like, why do I think I have more to do than he did? You know, like he made the most impact ever, you know, and it's like, okay, I need to rest, I need to recover. And to another quote, it's not as like biblical, but something that I always remind myself of is like sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. And I remind myself of that on the days where I'm like, oh, I could just push through. I'm like, no, it's actually more productive for me to take a rest, step away, to walk away. So those are my two little.
Yeah. And I've learned that the hard way, and I still am learning that in all areas of my life because I feel like a lot of us too here are the same, like very perfectionist type A, like go, go, go. And while that's great, like your body and mind will shut down, like whether you like it or not, if you push yourself too far. So I have definitely like crashed out a time or two in the past couple of years when I definitely should have rested. And many in whether it be health and fitness, business, just like my mental health. So don't forget that like Chloe said, the most important thing and productive thing you can do sometimes really is rest. So, okay, first slide. Here are some really like good verses. Kayla actually put a lot of this together and I was reading through it and as we were like working on as a team on the call earlier today, I was like, wow, these are speaking to me. So the first one, grace is God's gift, not earned. It enables us to live a life of purpose. I love that. It's like you literally can't earn grace. Like you're gifted it, right? So that's just, I don't know, that really stuck with me of like I don't have to hustle to earn that grace. You know, it's already there. Anybody else want to pick up, or you want me to just read through
I
these?
can read the next one. Discipline is a response to grace, not a way to earn it, which kind of goes hand in hand with that. But again, it's like, it's a response. Like we're responding to something. We're not having to work for it. We're not having to earn it. It's given to us. And so we need, literally kind of like what Maddie was saying. I think once you understand that of you don't have to do more for it, you just have to like step back and be obedient and like just listen, And I don't know. I just think we're always like thinking we have to earn things, thinking we have to work for something. But one of the things that is so important, we don't have to earn it. We don't have to work for it. It's given. Um, so yeah.
Mm. And another quote that I just thought was a cool way to look at it that I've never really looked at it before because didn't realize, but I'm sure a lot of you relate. Like a lot of times I view grace slash giving myself grace or giving myself rest. A lot of times we naturally tend to view that as like the opposition or like the opposite of effort, right? It's like you either are working hard or you're resting. You are, like one or the other, but actually that's not the case. So grace is not opposed to effort, it's opposed to earning. So it's more of the opposite of feeling like you have to strive and earn something. So it just kind of put in perspective for me of like, oh, I even learned something from that today as I found that. I was like, that's honestly a pretty cool outlook. Just another way to view it.
Love that.
Moving on. Sorry. I love
Kind of hit that note. I was like, okay.
honestly, guys, I think that God was like, he almost made me a good singer, but not quite. He was
You're
like,
better than I am.
give her it all,
You knew that if you were a good singer that you actually would never shut up with
I know.
you like actually would never stop talking or singing.
I
So
know. My husband thinks already that's the case. So maybe he did it to bless him.
um
Right.
so this is like, oh, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying, the role of hard work in a faith-filled life. Hard work is worship when it's done in alignment with God's will. So again, like I had never really heard that quote before or like heard that statement. And whenever I was really contemplating it and thinking about it today, I was like, wow, I can remember things like Alora is a great example. Like Alora is a lot of work. Like we put in like a lot of work on the back end to make this happen and really kind of try to make this dream of ours come true and serve you guys. And it's never not once felt aligned. And so it's like the hard work is always a lot like paired with such joy in doing it. Like I never am like, oh God, like I have to get on like an Alora team call, or like I have to like meet with this like potential brand or sponsor or partner, like, or I have to go build out this email or do this or that. Like I walk with such joy because I feel like it is so led by God. And it was so clear to us that this was what the next step we were supposed to take. So that was kind of a real life example that hit me of like, yeah, hard work, but it does feel like worship, and do it with such joy when it's God's will.
I love that. I think like that really shows that the difference of striving and then walking in your purpose. Because being like in line with God's plan for your life doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? And we've all known that. We all figured that out the hard way, I'm sure. But it does mean you're not having this constant weight of like, this is all on you, you're doing it yourself, like you're creating this life for yourself. I love that, Chloe. And this is your business, but you used to have the tattoo when I met you that said self-made, and then she got crossed out when she found Jesus, and now she says God made, right? Or yeah. And I think that's just cool and irrelevant, like it's relevant to this.
Well, I think too, like bouncing off that, and even the second verse we have here, it's like, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. So back to the verse, it's like the Lord wants us to work at it with all of our heart. So if he's asking us to put all of our heart into something, it must be important. And that's why it's so important to do something to like glorify the Lord and to, be obedient to like where he's leading you. Because if you're not, like you're pouring your heart into something that he doesn't want you to, and when you give your whole heart to something, that's a huge deal. And I think we often I feel like we misunderstand that, it's like, oh, this is what makes the most sense, but it's not where you're called to do. And I think that's where you get a lot of burnout and you get a lot of like frustration and anxiety within a business. And don't get me wrong, like there's moments where we're tired and we're a little stressed and anxious, but that doesn't compare to like other moments where I felt misaligned and working. It's just once you experience it, I feel like you understand. But it really gives you confidence to like put in the effort and to put in the work when you know you're doing it as working for the Lord. And then again, back to my tattoo, it's like before I knew the Lord, everything I did with felt so much more like on me and stressful because I thought I was doing it. I thought it was up to me to get there. And my goal seemed so much like further away and harder to reach and almost impossible because I'm like, am I really capable of that? But it's like you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And it's like I'm doing it through him. Like I can't do it. I can't do it on my own at all. But I know with like inserting the Lord and doing it for him and glorifying him, I will get there. If he obviously calls me to it. But if I don't, then I also have like peace and understanding of like that wasn't where I was meant to go. And it wasn't because there wasn't effort, it's because I was being obedient to the workload and the calling. You know, if like God calls us out of Laura, then we leave. But like there's no, inkling of that. But it gives us confidence of like wherever Laura ends up, it's exactly where God has us like meant to be at, because we are focusing the company on him and we're focusing our workload and our efforts in a way to honor him and glorify him. But that can be hard to do in business, especially when you're self-employed, entrepreneur, any business. But when you feel like it's all on you, you have to remind yourself it's not. It's you can put that on him, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Rest, God's gift and command. And yeah, just like Chloe said, God himself rested, right? Like in the most loving way possible. I am not the exception. You are not the exception, right?
Mm.
Like you are not special in the realm of like you don't need rest. You do. And it helps reset everything.
Mhm.
It's like that's part of the reason why we moved calls from Sunday to Monday was because like we didn't have a rest day, right?
Mhm.
Like social media never stops when you work in social media. It's like, okay, you're working on the weekends, but we really value that Sunday to just kind of like, don't text us, don't talk to us. Like we don't really text on Sundays, right? We just do
Yeah.
our own thing and don't
Mhm.
talk about business. And so that has also, I've noticed in the past, 4 weeks that we've done it, it's really made a difference in like the energy we bring to Monday. So that's
Yeah.
just it
For
popped up.
sure. I think that something else that I added in here today that I thought was kind of cool is that Sabbath isn't a reward, but a rhythm. So it really,
Mhm.
and it's so true because like you get in, like you said, man, like we got in the groove of starting to implement, like as a business, it was a hard choice because we started these calls on Sundays and a lot of girls were kind of sad that because we moved them to Mondays and some of them weren't able to join, but we feel so led that we needed to move them. But now that we're in this rhythm of having that Sunday rest, like it truly is just like a lifestyle and it's part of your life. And like now we'll notice when we don't rest, right? If we are taking calls on Sundays or like we notice the difference and it's so evident of the stress levels and where we were a few weeks ago versus now and how we're able to pour into you guys in our family and relationships and things. So that's just something to keep in mind. And basically rest is it's just resistance against hustle culture, the world, like worldly things, right? The world's saying you need to keep going. Like you don't stop because you're, especially Miami, you're a big city. I'm sure some of you live in big cities know that like you don't stop. If you stop, you're missing sweet time. If you don't get up at 4 a.m., what are you doing? Like people have been up for 5 hours. They're making money. They're doing this. Like, what are you doing? But I think this is cool because it's literally Russ is literally surrendering that and saying that like I trust that God has my life plan and that while he wants me to work hard, I trust that the one freaking day that I take a step back from whatever it is that I'm working on, I trust that he's going to keep it going for me. And what a beautiful thing, like to think about, like that pressure, like as believers, what a blessing, what a gift that he's like, here, you can actually just not be crazy like all of them. You can just take a breather and know that like I do have it. And so that should hopefully take some of the weight off your shoulders if you feel like you're working really hard in your business or whatever the case. But just know that like one day of rest is going to do far more for you than 7 days of grind.
Yeah. I like to remind myself too, it's a testament to your faith in his plan too and your confidence. Like he will get you further than you can get yourself. And you being disobedient to not resting is thinking like you're taking control, like you're not being aligned with his control and you're not trusting him. And like trust me, guys, like God will get you a lot further than you can get yourself in a day of work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like trusting in him and allowing him to bless you in your business and surrendering it to him, like one that gives you peace of mind and your life just improves, but two, like he can work miracles. Like he can do all things. So it's like what your little self can do on one day a week, is just so minuscule to the amount that he could do. And he will bless you with by, being obedient and taking that rest like he wants you to. And after
Also,
my that a lot because I'm like, oh, I can get so much done today. Like I need to do it, but I'm like, being disobedient is so much worse than taking a day off,
Mm-hmm. It's also so cool to think that like God wants us to rest, to spend time with family, to love on others, to be with our people. Like it is cool to think that like he loves love. Like he wants us to focus on things that matter and slow down, and like the freaking dollar signs, they don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So this is cool to think we have a father that literally is like, no, like kind of shift your focus and redirect you every week to remember what actually does matter, like a good sunset, a latte, time with friends, listening to music, like whatever it is. Just that's cool. I think he's a cool guy. So
Yeah, I love that. And
thoughts
it's
on
also it's like rest for your body too. Kind of like bringing in that gym piece as well. Like I for years tried to work out 7 days a week and I was like in the gym giving like 50, 60% every day because I never allowed myself to like recharge to 100%. So
that?
if even like in the fitness world too, like kind of if you're in that boat right now, if you feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose all my progress in one day, scientifically, I can tell you that's not possible at all. Your muscles are rebuilt at rest. So by you not giving yourself a chance to like take a step back and rest, you're doing the work that in the gym a disservice that you're doing in the gym a disservice because you're not giving yourself a chance to like recuperate that. And also like if you think about it, like what is the point, right? Like what is the intention of you working out 7 days a week? Right? Like is that honoring the body that God gave you? Is that allowing you to reach your full potential? Is that acting out of respect? Or a lot of times is that acting out of dislike for something about your body or out of fear of it changing or a grasp for control over, a physical aspect of yourself, right? Just some food for thought on that too, because I know that that can be
Yeah.
a common mindset.
Finding the balance. Can I just sing all the titles from now on? Like every time
No.
we go to a new one. Rhythms of our routines. Okay. Anyway, I gotta get together. We're not machines, ladies. Grace allows for flexibility and reminds us that we are not meant to be perfect. How we create rhythms that include both intentional effort and intentional pauses, I think is crucial. Like having that intentionality with both. There's a time to work hard. We're not meant to just be lazy slobs. God's got it. God's got his plan. Like the girl on Facebook, Karen, writing that, like, I don't know, like God's got a plan. It's like, no, go get a job. Like, he wants you to put in work.
You have to take action steps for sure.
Yes, he wants you to take action. But I think being intentional with those action steps and being intentional when to pause, like they're one and the same, right? Like you can't have one without the other unless you're going to be off
And
balance.
adding on to that really quickly before I forget this, there's a huge difference in acting to check things off a list and for like a numerical, like check, 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 and then acting with intention and mindfulness, right? Like quality is so much more important than quantity in terms of like what you get done on your to-do list, right? Because you can, oh, like let me whiz through like cleaning the house and then whiz through like answering clients and then whiz through like going to the gym and then whiz through taking Willow for a walk. I'm talking about my own life. I don't think we all have a dog named Willow, but I could do all of that and do it all like 50%, but none of it is truly done with intention and I'm like not enjoying life. And then your life becomes a checklist and then you're like, okay, well, what is this for in the first place? So quality over quantity and really acting with intention just gives you such an appreciation too for the little things around you. Like Kayla said, a morning latte, a sunrise, those things that are just God's creation. Well, not the latte, but close.
He created man
You
in
made the coffee beans though, like you made the milk.
Make coffee beans. So that's all I'm concerned with.
What I really like about this too is just like even the thought of rhythms, like I'm so visual and like a rhythm, it's like, it's not consistent, it's not linear, it's kind of changing as it goes. And it's like that's how our routines need to be, especially as women, like our cycles are always changing, what we need to be doing and how do we need to be like training, acting, moving, working is gonna fluctuate every single week. Like men are on like a 24-hour clock every single day of the year. Us, it's obviously extremely different. So it's like being in tune with your body, especially as a woman, like there are weeks in the cycle where I'm like, I swear my brain just like doesn't work. And I have to give myself grace and understand like God made me this way. Like it's okay. It's okay that like maybe I'm more like less social, more tired. Like we fluctuate, you know, and that's okay. So finding that rhythm though and understanding like this week is going to be a great week for, you know, meetings and calls and whatever. And then this week maybe it's not going to be as great. This week the gym's going to feel awesome. This week maybe I just need to go on long walks, and finding that rhythm will make life a lot better than thinking and setting specific expectations and assuming you have to show up every single day to meet that. You know, like your 100% is going to look different every day. So
Mhm.
keep that in mind.
Good. Mic
That was
drop.
good. That was good. Yeah.
Pop off.
Pop off.
I'm
So
like talking to myself half the time in this. I'm like, I wish my
So I'm
younger
like,
self would have known this.
no, listen. Um, but here are just some practical tools for walking in grace and discipline. And like, we would love to hear y'all's thoughts too, if you have any or any ideas to share with the crowd. But obviously, you know, daily quiet time, like just like allow yourself to be with your thoughts. That sounds so simple, but also so hard to do. That's one thing I will very much admit I suck at. I'm so bad because I'm like, oh, well, actually, I could go clean my floors, or I could go like finish the laundry, or I need to like answer this email or get ahead on client notes for the next day. But I'm like, okay, well, again, what is that going to do if I'm not giving my soul time to rest and really checking in with myself and doing inventory of my own, you know, mental and emotional and spiritual health? So over the last year, I'm still not very good at it, but I've been making it more of a priority of just like sitting, being, and doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. I'm sure, Maddie, you're so similar to me. I know, but like type A, like I wake up with like, how many things can I get done today?
Yeah.
How efficiently? How many things can I do at
You were texting me at 7:42 this morning. I was like, Kayla.
I know.
Yeah. Me being on the
Literally, I'm
West Coast
so
too.
sorry. I was like closing
No,
the
it's
window.
okay. I do that too sometimes.
I have sent
I
8
literally,
texts,
I wake up to
not
15
7:38.
texts and I'm like, my day just started,
Yeah,
guys.
I literally was
I'm
like,
so sorry.
I was like, I made the PowerPoint tonight. Can y'all approve it? And they're like, not even out of bed. Yeah, I was like, I am having a spiral. So don't do that. All right. Like, I did not get up and get in my Bible. I looked at one email and it was a spiral from there, ladies. I
Mhm.
went down, I got sucked down the path. So happens to all of us. We're not perfect. Easier said than done. But really trying to make that intentionality is crazy. Just the difference of like how my days usually start, me getting in the word, having my coffee, relaxing, talking to Keith and my husband, or I just immediately get in the work, barely talk to Keith, and then realize it's all of a sudden noon and I have not talked to my husband or gotten off of my computer in 6 hours, you know? So it matters, makes a difference. So
It does. Even too, like one thing I had to work on this last year was like I realized I was never like in my own thoughts. I always had like a podcast going. I always had music going. And before, like when I'm like cleaning up, I love to like listen to something, but I almost forced myself like a 5 to 10 minute period of like no music, no podcast, no nothing, and just like sit with myself. And it's a good little challenge. Again, you can kind of like work the time up, like start with just a minute, you know, just delay the podcast for a minute and just sit with yourself. But like you'll notice how often like you guys will be going pee and we'll be scrolling on our phone. Like we don't ever just sit. Like I never
I
like
literally do that. I'm like, what?
do anything. I'm like, I'm always, or I'll just have it like scrolling as I'm doing something. I keep the TikTok rolling. I'm like, I'm getting this girl like 100 views. I'm not even
I know.
touching the video. But like I won't sit in my own like quietness. And so that's like a skill I think you have to like develop and acknowledge that you're, you know, avoiding. But I have my own podcast. I'm a big podcast girly, but it's like it's more important to just learn to sit with yourself for 10 minutes than it is to gain whatever you're gonna listen to in that podcast, you know?
also it allows you to hear God
Yeah,
clearly. Like
exactly.
even if it's worship songs, like it's still steering you in a direction. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you genuinely need nothing. Like today I went on a walk, my phone died, and I was pissed. I wasn't walking, I was
But
running.
it was peaceful.
And I was so pissed. And then all of a sudden, by the end of the walk, I was like, I'm a new woman.
Yeah.
I saw birds. I took in all of the colors. I heard the cars going by and the palm trees. I was like,
Yeah.
this is a gift. Like God was like, if your phone don't die, you're not gonna slow
Yeah.
down for a beat. So really being able to just like have like in the morning, maybe this week, challenge yourselves, sit on your porch or just go on an afternoon walk or whatever the case, and just be quiet and ask God, like, if he wants to say anything to you. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just wants you to just relax and decompress for a sec. But you won't ever hear him if we're just constantly allowing like the media and culture to be like in our faces 24/7.
One of my favorite quotes ever, my mom told it to me, and she was like, God's right here with you, right? Like he's here with all of us, right beside of us. And whenever you're standing next to a person, you're not going to yell at them, right? You're going to whisper, you're going to talk quietly. So how do you expect to hear God if you have all of this other noise going on 24/7? Like you have to be quiet enough to hear him.
Mm.
And that, like, I was thinking I was like 15 when I heard it first. Whenever I heard it, I was like, yeah, yeah. But it stuck with me. Like the more every season where I feel like he's not as loud as I want him to be, or I can't hear him as clearly, it's often because I am too loud in my own worldly things, right?
Mhm.
I'm scrolling constantly, or I've, work, work, work. I'm not taking time to rest. I'm not spending enough time in the word or just like sitting with my thoughts. Um, so food for thought too, if you're like, why is God being so quiet? Why can't I hear him? Well, are you quiet enough to hear him? And then another thing too, this is kind of a segue, but one of my favorite things to do to like force myself to just have that like downtime is do a like high vibe, low vibe brain dump. I do one at the beginning of every month, but you could do it every day if you wanted. And it's just random things that come to mind, like in this present moment that feel good to you and like don't feel good, right? And like the low vibe is kind of what you want to push out, and then the high vibe is what you want more of. And it can really also just be some insight to, what's taking up mental space in your brain right now, and assess like, okay, should these things take up all that space? So just an idea too.
That's good.
Anybody else have any thoughts? That's kind of all we had for the PowerPoint, but would love to hear y'all's thoughts if you had any like ideas for taking rest, weigh-ins, questions, anything.
I gotta say that you ladies are like literally preaching to the choir. Like everything you're saying, I'm sitting here and I'm like, holy cow. And it also, so I'm Catholic, so I practice Lent. And so it's like basically 40 days, like you give something up or you take something on. And so one of the things that I took on was one, I am absolutely a morning workout girl. And so I just like getting it done. I like starting, like that was like my thing to start the day off right. But I found myself like instead of getting from it, I was like trying to get through it. And I would wake up and I would like rush into the gym. Like I would like literally not even take a second. I was like, I would no joke in my alarm, like set my alarm for like 6:30 and then right on there, like as a little reminder, like I needed a reminder at 6:45, start workout. So like I
Yeah.
would myself like literally rolling out of bed and rushing in there. So
Been
then I'm
there.
just like getting through it. I'm not actually getting anything from it. And like you were saying, like it's just something to check off of a list. So for Lent, for 3 days out of the week, I did my workout in the afternoon, which if you know me is like so hard, but I would swap it for a morning walk with like nothing. Like I would start, or I started off, like you were saying, like take it in doses of just being in silence. So I would start my walk. The first 10 minutes, I would just like just be with my thoughts and like let my mind go. And then like the last 20 minutes, I would put on a podcast or something like that. And I was literally talking to my friend yesterday. She came over and we were practicing the Sabbath and doing absolutely nothing and not checking our phones. And we were talking about like how different it is. Because the other thing I gave up was not checking my phone for the first 30 minutes of the day. Because like all of you ladies are saying, it's like I wake up, Jen's 3 hours ahead of me. So she's already on with her day. So
Yeah.
I'm getting just thrown into it. And so that was another thing to pair with like kind of the slowing down in the morning. And it is night and day different. Like I would wake up with anxiety because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm starting my work day the second I open my eyes. And so really shifting that and like changing up the order of my day, like it feels small and only 3 days out of the week too. Because I was like, no way I can commit to all of them right now. But just like starting small has been such a game changer in my life. So everything that you guys are saying, I feel like I've like taken like little bits and pieces and put it together. And I can confirm it is like seriously life changing.
I love that. Yeah, that's one thing too I am not good about and trying to be really good about is like 30 minutes, don't get on my phone, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, like if I put music on if I'm going for a run, that's fine. But I'm not gonna I used to open Instagram as soon as I got out of bed. And I'm like, what is it for? Like, what are we doing? Are we checking all the things we missed while we were asleep? Like they're not gonna disappear. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and I can tell even a difference in my anxiety levels and like my attention span and my focus if I jump right into like scrolling social media work rather than just taking a second for myself in the morning too. So
Totally.
Side, like literally, y'all know, some of y'all know, I went on this whole like mold journey and then hormone journey and then everything under the sun. Learned my cortisol was like way crazy throughout the day. It's supposed to fluctuate, but like not this much, right? Because I did a Dutch test and a big part of that with my functional doctor, like we went through all kinds of things. And so one of the things that we did was like stop tech until, or don't look at your phones or anything until like the first like hour, like literally nothing. And until today, I ruined that. I've been so good, y'all. Like the difference is unreal. So I know people say it online, like don't look at your phone first thing, but like genuinely, I have implemented that myself for like, I don't know, like I guess like 4 weeks straight, 3 or 4 weeks straight. I'm a different human. Like I am nice. I mean, I feel like I was always nice. Nicer to Keith. Like, I don't know, it just makes a big difference. So if you haven't done that, try that this week. I think that's a great point to make. So that's like a great start.
Love that.
Who else got thoughts? What do y'all do to like?
I think you like hit the nail on the head when you were talking about like, have you ever just sat and thought like, okay, I'm gonna listen now? And I feel like that just like hit me like this because I feel like especially recently I've been going through some health stuff and I'm looking at maybe changing careers and all kinds of stuff. And I feel like I've been asking, like asking for guidance, asking for a sign, a direction. And Kayla knows because I've been talking to her about it for like a year. But I've never once thought to sit here and think like, okay, my ears are open, I'm listening. So I'm gonna do that now.
I love
really
that.
good.
No, I think I'm excited. I'm excited to see like how that goes because you have so many dreams and so many passions, and it's like you have so many options. And a lot of the girls on this call recently have like gotten same situation with different jobs, like opportunities, and we've kind of seen them maneuver it. And I truly think that like that might be like that next step of like just be and see like he's like, I know you're talented in all of these areas. You would be great owning a jewelry store. You would be a great hairstylist.
I'm all over the place if you can't tell.
Just relax and like let him speak into you and move forward with confidence after you allow a little space and a little room for him.
I love that. Well said, Kayla.
I was gonna add to that. A long time ago, I would like the night before my days like time stamp my whole next day. Like from 7 to 7:10 do this, from 8 to 9 do this, my whole entire day just so I could like check it off the list. And then like I would look back and none of that ever even happened. So then I stopped and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with the flow, whatever happens, happens. And if I need to sit still, if I need to do what I need to do, it'll happen. But that's also changed. It's like not completely planning my day, but like kind of getting an idea. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'll be like, okay, what do I have to do today? Rather than I need to get all this done.
Yeah.
I love that to live.
Yeah.
And I really like the reframe too with that. Like I love that. Actually, that's one thing. I'm a very like my planner, I time block, I love the visual to-do list, but it was like, oh, I'm gonna it was a couple years ago, it was kind of crazy how much I would time block off. But one thing that I would change too of like, okay, what do I have to do today? What do I get to do today? Right? What are the little things that I get to do, right? Like I got to watch the most beautiful sunrise this morning, and it's been really humid down in Florida recently. So when it gets humid, it gets like cloudy and hazy over the horizon. But this morning was crisp. And I was like, that is such a small joy. And like those are just little things that, you know, you don't really think about when you're thinking of checking off a to-do list that make life just that much sweeter. So I love that.
And two, I think like when you have such a specific, you know, list of things to do, if you don't get it done, you feel like a sense of guilt and like failure for the day. And that's what I struggled with was like, oh, I like thought I could do it. Why couldn't I do it? I felt like I failed. So it's like, if you just go with the flow and trust the time, it's like you get done what you can get done. I always say if I'm giving my best effort, it's okay. But like if you fall a little short, like that's okay too. You know, it doesn't have to be this perfect routine every single morning.
We put those expectations on ourselves. Like who's telling us that between 8 and 8:15 we have to brush our teeth, and then you know like why are we doing that to ourselves? It's not that deep. It's good to be proactive and be efficient, but when it gets too extreme, it's like at what point are you losing your actual like life? Like all of a sudden you're going to be 70 or you could die tomorrow as well, and then you're like, oh wait, I just spent all of my life like a robot. You know, my visual.
And like a quick check too of, you know, if you're like us and, you know, checklist and very type A could fall into that very easily, is ask yourself, what do you want to remember about this season of your life? Right? Like, what would you want to tell your grandkids one day about this season? Right? And it's not going to be that you were able to, you know, respond to every single email that came in your inbox that day. And it's the little things that make life worth living. So that's something I ask myself often.
That's good.
Mm, like that.
Pulled on the heartstrings a little bit.
I'm an empath. What can I say?
Yeah, me too. Actually. Anyone else have any thoughts about anything or any prayer requests in general? It doesn't have to be related to this at all. Anything? Dang, y'all are all prayed up, I guess.
I don't have any prayer requests, but I have like one more thought that has been like constantly on my brain, and I've like kind of turned it into a prayer for a while. Like I would tell myself, like, because my brain, like you guys are all saying, like I'm very type A. I have the list, I have all the things. And so instead of like whenever my brain's like, okay, what's next? Like what do I need to check off next? I like try to take that and swap it with like a little prayer. So I have like little things that I will literally just like write down as I think of them. And so for like a day, I'll be like, this is really speaking to me. So for a while, it was on heaven's timing. Like that's what I would tell myself. But then the last thing I actually saw on Instagram a couple of days ago, actually Jen sent it to me because she knew that I needed it. It was Jen's my twin, by the way. I keep saying Jen, like everyone knows her. It was when
Deal.
yeah. When nothing is rushed, everything is sacred. And that's been like something that I have to keep telling myself because like you guys are all saying, it's so easy to have the checklist and like just try to get through it. But it's like actually, if you think about it, like instead of like, okay, for at 8 o'clock, I have to brush my teeth, and then I have to go drink my electrolytes before I go get to the gym, and then I have to come in and I have to scarf down my breakfast. It's like if you actually, one, you're probably not finishing faster than you would be if you just like let your heart rate slow down and like take a breath. But also like when you think about being mindful in the present moment and like what you're doing and like I'm gonna make this coffee and I'm just gonna take the time to make this coffee. Maybe it'll take me a minute longer to just like be instead of like trying to rush through it, but it really does like become sacred. And every little piece of your day when you go about it with like that intentionality, I feel like it's such a better way to live instead of like you're saying like being a robot and just like going through the motions, which is so much easier said than done, but like that mindfulness and intentionality behind each thing like makes the day so much more beautiful.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Mhm.
And it also makes life just like in your nervous system so much better, like a much happier
Yes.
place to be. Because
Yeah.
whenever I'm rushing, it's like I can feel the tension in my bones. But like for
There's
example,
nothing worse than being rushed. Like I will cry. If you want to get me to cry, get my husband to rush to go somewhere. Like
yeah,
I will start hyperventilating.
a funny example too, I was filming like a day in the life, whatever, and I had like client calls, I was coming in, I was on the phone, I was trying to do a million different things, and I go to grab the yogurt out of the fridge. I literally filmed it, funny enough. But I dropped the yogurt everywhere all over the kitchen, like just like completely splattered. I was like, that wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have just not been a spaz and like taken the extra 5 seconds to open the other door of the fridge. Like it's not. So it's just kind of like little things like that. Give yourself slow down, give yourself a second to come out of that fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Helps a lot too. But thank you guys for coming. We hope that it was helpful, inspiring, set you up for a good week ahead. And if you guys have any prayer requests, have any thoughts afterward, please pop them in the school chat. We always love to like recap it in the thread afterwards. So please feel free to do that.
All right, ladies. We love y'all. We'll hope to see you next week. We have another fun topic. I forget what it is, but I will let you know.
Oh my God.
Calendar,
It's gonna be great. I have a good feeling. But we love y'all and we're here for y'all to support you however we can. Those of you who are gonna be in Miami, we'll
Less
see
than
you
3
guys. And the ones that aren't, you're gonna be at the next
The next one, right?
All right. Bye guys. Have a good rest
All
of
right.
your
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Bye.